All right, guys, welcome back. We're going to take another close look at another feature of the NP3 game. This is one that I don't use, and I think in a second here you'll see the reason why. So what we're going to use is the jump system, the stolen base jump system. Here, we'll take a look at this here. I actually have not played with this yet in the game. I don't use it in my replay currently. I think in a second you'll probably understand why as you watch how this works. We're going to do the same thing we did last time. We'll do the manual click for batting, just so that we can slow it down a little bit. The little C system is what I usually will use, as you know from watching these videos. The little C system is sort of an automatic stolen base and caught stealing system, which is what I think is closer probably to what Clifford Van Beek would have planned on doing. I have reasons to believe that. I just don't think he had the stats necessary. How does the jump system work? Well, on each batter card, there is a steal rating. It's listed below the player's fielding position, and it's a 2-digit number followed by a slash, followed by another 2-digit number. When you use this system, you ignore all steal attempts of second base as dictated by the playing boards or the player's card. That also includes the little C's, the little S's, and other stuff. Anytime a player reaches first base by any means and second base is unoccupied, you have a choice to steal second base. The success or failure is based off the player's steal rating. So here's an example. Base is empty with a roll of 11. The batter, or with a roll that leads to an 11 on the batter's card, you're supposed to have a stolen base according to the boards. But under the jump system, the single remains, but the stolen base is ignored. A dialog box will pop up asking you to re-roll the dice for the attempted steal of second base. You have the option not to re-roll the dice, and you do so by clicking the box labeled "Play it safe, no steal attempt." This is actually a little bit different than what I remember playing with the cards and dice when I tried this system. If you decide to make an attempt to steal second base, re-roll the dice and enter the result in the text box, and so on and so forth. There is this jump option that will come up, and there is you're alerted that you can place a jump on hold or you can enter the jump. So we'll go take a look at this. You can go over here to the jump system options. We do have the auto jump dialog. I'm actually not sure exactly what that is, so we'll find out the hard way. And the jump system is on, including the adjustment after the inning, a certain number of innings. We're not going to play that long. I just put that on just sort of for fun. And the place, if you have the game where you change to use the jump system, is here at the stolen base option, jump system on. So let's go take a quick look and see what we can figure out. We'll go over here to the starting lineups. We have 1982, the Athletics of the Mariners. What we're going to do is, I think that I have this here set to manual click. Yeah, so I have to click manually on the play result number, I believe. So we'll start this off with Ricky Henderson, but we're going to cheat a little bit. So instead of actually rolling the dice, what we're going to do is we're going to give him 15 so that we can see how the system works. Normally this would be a steal of second base, so let's take a look and see. 15. You did not click on a valid DRM. Okay, we'll click on 15. There we go. So 15 was the result for an 11, which normally is a single left batter steals second on first pitch, the next batter 1 strike on batter. So what we can do here is we can decide that we want to have him try to get the jump, or we can put the jump on hold. Now, the way that this works is he has between 11 and 45 chance of stealing the base. That's on the left side. And he also has between 66 and 55 chance of being caught stealing. That's on the right side. So you'll see this here when we roll. If it's a 46, 51, 52, 53, or 54, then nothing happens. So we'll roll and see, and look at that. It's a 43. So we do 43. Okay. Henderson steals second on a first pitch strike. On first pitch, a strike, 1 strike count. Okay, so we need some grammatical help there, but that's okay. That's kind of what happens here. Now, we're going to do the same thing again. So we'll roll. We get a 15 with Dwayne Murphy, I'm sorry. And so we'll figure that out. Look at that. We rolled a 15 perfectly. You can see right here. We can get the light out. Anyway, I don't know if it's going to show right or not. It's a 15. You're going to have to trust me. All right. So Murphy rolls a 15. We enter this over here, and it's going to say click DRN 15. Okay, we click on 15. And that's a single. It scores Henderson. And now let's say that Dwayne Murphy ended up getting a bad roll. So It's like 1 through 21 where he steals. We're going to cheat. We're going to give him a 66. So, oh, look at this. We rolled our dice and we got a 66. We got the bad rating here. If we get a 66 and put this in, what happens is Murphy is caught stealing, catcher to shortstop on the first pitch, which is a strike. So now it's a 1-0 game in favor of the Athletics, who have 2 hits and nobody on base. Now here's Dan Meyer. Meyer doesn't have much of a steal rating. So what we're going to do for him is we're going to say that he rolls a 44. So it's a 44. That's the roll that he gets. And we'll put that on in here. See, it tells you too, by the way, if you get a duplicate roll, just in case you were wondering, interesting stuff. Click on the 44. Oh, whoops, I'm sorry. That is a pop out because Bannister has a B. This is my mistake. So we'll have to find something that would be a hit against him. Let's try a 25 with Tony Aramis. So we roll a 25 here. There you go. There's the 25 because we don't want to cheat. We never want to cheat, right? 25 it is, and it tells me click on it, you doofus. And so I hit 25, and look, it pops up again. Jump, attempt to steal second, or jump on hold. So what we're going to do is we'll roll this here. He gets a 32, right? 32 is in between, and so his roll is a 32, and it means he can't get the jump, so he does not attempt to steal. That's the way that this system works. This is an alternate way to play Skeetersoft. The reason why I don't play it like this is, of course, as you can see, there are a lot of extra dice rolls that are involved. Now, let's do something else that's funny. So Wayne Gross is going to roll an 11, right? So he'll roll an 11 first time out. And so we'll give him that, 11. Click DRN11, we do. And he's going to hit a double. So I don't know, we'll make it a 13. That way we don't have to change too much. So we roll a 13, next one out. It's a potential of increasing to home run, but we're just going to say 66. We're not going to worry about this. So he hits an 11, the runner scores. But there is nothing that pops up for a potential steal of third base, right? So if it's a steal of third base, it's going to have to be something that's dictated by the boards. In other words, the system, this jump system, only affects steals of second base. So I'm looking through this. Yes, ignore all steal attempts of second base as dictated by the playing boards or the player cards. That means anything that says the guy's caught stealing or that the guy has stolen second base successfully. But if it is third base, you don't ignore it, right? So we'll go through here and we'll forget about this game. We'll go over here. We'll go to new game. We don't want to save it because we're just messing around. We'll have a new game. And the reason why we want to do this is because Ricky Henderson has a couple of these that will get him a steal of third base. So our roll here is going to be an 11 for a 0. So we click on that one. And then the next roll here is going to be a 23, which will give us a 6S. Here it's going to be a 66. He didn't hit a home run. And so he winds up not on second, but on third because he doubled, and then that S gave him a steal of third. Even though we're playing with the jump on, Henderson does not get a jump to try to advance to third base. That only affects second base. So hitters like Henderson, who were extremely good base stealers and who stole third base a lot, or who the game has stealing third, cannot. That the jump doesn't come into question when they get that kind of rule. You just kind of go with what the boards say anyway. That is exactly the same as it is in the board game. So so this isn't like a computer specific type thing. Anyway, that's it basically for the jump. The nice thing about the jump is that instead of going through to the next hitter and having to click on him. I don't think it lets me do this with this system here. Oh, cool. You can get his current hitting streak. But instead of going over and, let's see, we got to change over to the other system. And see, it doesn't let me. So we'll do a new game. We'll not save it. We'll go back to the little C system. Then we don't have to worry about the adjustment. This should automatically be off because it doesn't mean anything with the little C system in place. See, with the little C system up here, we should be able to, we can click here for no steal attempt during plate appearance, right? So that's the way that you would have somebody play it safe, right? So if Henderson then rolls 45, normally it'd be a 45 for a 14 with a little S, which means he's still second. He doesn't here because we had this clicked. We're playing it safe. Same thing happens here if we click on the optional base coaching. If we don't want him to try to steal, if we want him to just go base to base, we can restrict his movement. so that he doesn't take an extra base. We can restrict his movement on fly balls, and we can also restrict his movement on anything that's a potential steal attempt, right, when they're on base. But if instead we have the little C system on, I think it's going to be different. Let's go take a look and see. Don't save this game. We'll put the jump system on. We'll turn the adjustment back on. We'll play the same game again. This time we will put Henderson on. We'll have him roll a 36. It'll be a 14 with a little s, and it's going to ask me to do this or to place jump on hold. We will place the jump on hold until the next pitch or the next batter. So if this is the case, now we can click on Henderson. Oh, look, and we can still have him play it safe with any steal attempt, right? Interesting stuff. Now, the cool thing here is you get this button called steal that pops up. So I say, okay, well, this time with Dwayne Murphy up here this time, I do want to have him try to steal. And he gets, I don't know, an 11, and he gets to steal the base. There you go. Steal button goes away if he's already stolen the base. Interesting stuff. Now we're going to look at one other thing. So we'll have Murphy roll a 15 for an 11. There you go. And we'll have his attempt, instead of putting it on hold, we'll try it this time out. Say he rolls a 33. He can't get the jump. We put the next card on there, but guess what? We can have him try to get it again. Oh, no, he previously could not get the jump. So let's say that Dan Meyer rolls like a 61. So it's going to be a fly ball to right field. Murphy holds. Here's Aramis with one out. We click over here, and he still could not get the jump. So that's kind of the way that the system works. Basically, you have one shot. You can choose if you want to take the shot with this guy up at bat, or you can hold it for later on, assuming that the guy stays on first base and it's possible to steal second. Some other interesting stuff, right, is that let's say Aramis rolls like, I don't know, a 15 for an, I'm sorry, no, we're going to give him a 45 for a walk. So he gets a 45, he walks, and Dwayne Murphy's on at second. You cannot steal because there's somebody on at second base, right? However, if we, I don't know what would give us runners on at first and third. Let's say that Gross rolls a 33 for a 7. Maybe this will give us runners at first and third. I don't know. Yes, it does. When he rolls a 33 for a 7, because second base is open, Gross has the jump hop up. In other words, he can elect to steal second if you want him to, right? He rolls an 11, he steals it. There you go. So that's basically how the system works. It's kind of an ingenious way of approaching stolen bases. I consider this to be somewhat similar to the Strat-O-Matic system of stolen bases. I think it's inspired by that. There are some sort of finicky rules so that you don't end up with a whole bunch of extra base stealing attempts. This makes it a lot easier to control the amount of attempts that guys have and to stop guys from stealing bases when it doesn't make any sense. Whereas the little C system, I mean, if you're just going all out like I do, you just say, whatever, go for it, man. You know, so that's kind of the nice thing about this system, but the bad part is that you end up with a lot of extra dice rolls. And actually, I mean, this is the first time I've tried it with the computer game. It works well with the computer game. It's problematic with the board game because, again, it's easy to forget if you've already given it the try or not. It's easy to forget, you know, all sorts of things. I might just be forgetful. If I were going to do this again with the board game, I would probably want to have a different set of die exclusively for those stolen base attempts. And probably put them somewhere else because it would come up so frequently, right? So yeah, you have to ask yourself whether you want to have the extra, like maybe 15 or so rolls in the game. Of course, for players who have no chance of getting a stolen base, if it's just an NN, I think we can see some players like that. So let's go look here at the bench. And yeah, so you have Kevin Bell, right? If Kevin Bell is your first hitter, in fact, we can do this. Let's start a new game. Let's see what happens if Kevin Bell is our first hitter. So this is going to be real fun. We're going to put Bell in here as the left fielder. I don't even think he's an outfielder, but we're going to use it. We want to accept the lineup. We'll start the game. Kevin Bell leads off the game, right? He rolls a 55 for a 7. So when we click on 55, there you go. He cannot get the jump because he has an NN rating. Therefore, he cannot get the jump. Now, this thing will pop up. I don't think it has to. Like if you click on not having the auto pop up, I think it won't pop up. In fact, we can test that here as well. We'll start a new game. We'll not save this one, and we'll do the exact same thing. And we will not have the auto jump dialog on, and we'll take a look and see what happens now when Kevin Bell does the same thing. So Kevin Bell here playing in left field, obviously because we don't want Ricky Henderson to start. We have him do the exact same thing. We'll have him roll a 55 for a 7, and we click over here, and oh no, it pops up anyway. So apparently that option didn't do what I thought. I'm not sure what the auto jump dialog does. But there you have it. He doesn't get a jump, and then you have to deal with that thing popping up at you all the time if you're using this system. So there you have it. You can probably see here the reason why I don't use it. I believe, based on the results I've read, that it's probably just as realistic in terms of overall numbers either way. I kind of trust the little C system a little bit more because I don't really trust my ability to gauge whether it's a good time to steal or not. I also tend towards attempting to steal more often than not attempting to steal. But there you go. And of course, using this system would make these games a little bit longer. Perhaps sometime in the future, we'll have some sort of NP3 project in which we use that system, but we're not going to change in the middle of the 1908. As President Lincoln said, you don't want to change horses midstream. But you never know. Maybe later on we'll use something like that. Anyway, hoping you're having a good day, and I hope that this is somewhat helpful in understanding this part of the NP3 game. Again, it's an ingenious system, just like the system that is, I think it's loosely based off of the Strat-O-Matic system. This is a good way to give base runners the ability to steal bases that is actually disconnected from their number of hits or walks or whatever it is that they get. It's realistic and it's very, very simple. It's very, very fast. It's not going to give you great like catcher, caught stealing numbers and stuff like that. If you're into that, you're going to need to find something a little bit more accurate or a little bit more involved and in depth. But then again, the APBA master game will also not give you great catchers caught stealing numbers. People have tried that as well. So there you have it. I'll talk with you again tomorrow. Take care. Bye.